Good evening, Craig Allen with ABC News. An extraordinary police raid on Labor's offices in Melbourne and a staffer's home has sparked a day of brutal exchanges on the campaign trail. Bill Shorten says it's inconceivable the government didn't know about the investigation, but the Prime Minister says that claim is a shameful attack on the police. Here's political editor Chris Uhlmann.
In the dead of night, federal police raid a Labor staffer's house in Melbourne, executing a warrant to seek documents leaked from the National Broadband Network. Earlier, the police had spent 5 hours searching a Labor office in Treasury Place. Just before dawn, the police finished their work and Labor went on the attack.
What we need to know is what is the government's full involvement in this matter.
Mark Dreyfus went further, raising questions about whether the police had been pushed by government.
Being brought in the way in which it has during an election campaign, that raises questions. It does undermine confidence in the independence of the police.
Well, good morning everybody and thank you.
That forced a response from the Commissioner.
The AFP always acts independently and acts within the law.
Andrew Colvin had called the Justice Minister and Opposition Leader as the operation was unfolding yesterday afternoon.
There has been no influence on the AFP in the conduct of this investigation.
The Federal Police had been called in by the Broadband Network's management in December. Through the course of the investigation, the leaks continued, so the police decided to act. But Labor has invoked a protection that traces its roots back over 300 years.
Parliamentary privilege has now been claimed on the documents that were seized.
The documents have been sealed and sent to the Senate, where they'll lie until well after the election. But Labor isn't about to let this rest. The police have been exonerated.
The integrity of the AFP is not the issue here at all.
Because the opposition leader wants just one man in the dock.
I'm questioning Malcolm Turnbull's integrity.
The events gave Bill Shorten a platform to launch a bare-knuckle attack on the man who stands between him and victory, asserting the government must have known about the investigation.
This is the Turnbull government, embarrassed by the lack of performance by NBN, launching an investigation designed to go after the whistleblowers.
As Prime Minister,
the government cried overreach and said only the police can launch an investigation.
The AFP acts independently of government, and so it should.
He sought to turn the blowtorch back on his opponent.
What Labor is doing is seeking to attack the integrity of the Australian Federal Police. That is a shameful thing to do.
And all roads lead to one place.
You can't trust Labor on national security.
Who you trust on this and with your future is the question that only the election will answer. Chris Uhlmann, ABC News, Canberra.
Behind these NBN raids, there's an intense political struggle going on. Earlier, National Affairs correspondent Greg Jennett explained what Labor's trying to achieve by going on the counter-attack.
Well, Craig, Labor has some legitimate concerns about the public's right to know, but politically it's out to cause damage to two things. One is the NBN network that Malcolm Turnbull's had a hand in designing. The other is Malcolm Turnbull himself. He sets about campaigning under this banner of Malcolm Turnbull's coalition team, and that's because he's always had a consistent lead over Bill Shorten as preferred Prime Minister. So if this incident can be used to undermine or call into question his competence and his credibility, then Labor will use that. And if along the way it manages to lay the groundwork for its own campaign promise to upgrade the network itself, then that's just an added bonus.
Well, there's a late development tonight involving lawyers and the NBN. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, during last night's raid, there was a representative from the NBN present in the capacity of what they call an assisting constable. Now, he or she took 35 photographs, and Labor's very concerned that those photos may now be covered by parliamentary privilege. So its lawyers have asked the NBN to destroy those photos, and we're told that the NBN has agreed to do that. But just for good measure, Labor's written to the Federal Police to make sure they do.